Hi folks, it's me Michaela and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a wonderful day today. I don't know why I never say that. Why did I say that? It's not that I'm like, ooh, have a bad day, but like I never start my videos like that. Weird. But I believe spring will be springing very soon. I have tulips, the sun is shining, life is pretty nice. And I was thinking, what should I do for a new little video? Like, what is something I haven't done in a while that I could revisit? And I realized I haven't made a 5-star predictions list in ages, so I thought it might be fun to make a list of 10 books I think I'm gonna give 5 stars and kind of just talk about that. I do like making these lists. Like, it's kind of similar to why I make like TBR lists sometimes, despite the fact that I rarely keep to the TBR lists. I find that like making physical lists where I like write, it's not really that physical because I wrote it on my iPad, but you know, like writing down books that I'm excited to read, that I want to read soon, that I think I'm really gonna love, just kind of taking the time to like think about what I want to put on these lists do help me to navigate the many books that I'm constantly wanting to get my little fingies on. So there's so many books out in the world that there are to read that I want to read, and having like a list to be like, okay, these are ones that I actually really am excited for helps me to just like make sure I'm reading books that I'm really excited for instead of getting distracted because of my tiny little pea brain with a short attention span. So all that being said, I've made a list of 10 books that I think will be 5-star reads for me, and let's talk about them. So the first couple that I've put on the list are actually like anticipated releases. I do have more anticipated releases than these ones, but I also just, you know, there's some anticipated releases where you're like, ooh, I'm really excited for that, and even though I think I'm going to like it, I'm not necessarily sure it's going to be 5 stars, you know? I think like one example would be like the new Emily Henry book that's coming out this spring. Like, I'm really excited for it and I like Emily Henry and I'm going to read it and I'm excited to read it, but I'm not necessarily sure I'm going to be like giving it 5 stars. So it's not really like a 5-star prediction. It's just a like, ooh, can't wait for it. So keeping that in mind, the first book on the list is My Friends by Fredrik Backman. This is, of course, his newest release that's coming out in May. And look, guys, we know I love Fredrik Backman. Is there a singular sit-down video where I don't discuss Fredrik Backman? Probably not. Here I am doing it again. But I love this man's writing. I love how he's able to balance sarcasm and dry humor and these funny kind of tone with serious topics and messaging. And it just like makes for like such wonderful reads. And I think the stories he tells and the characters he creates are always so interesting to read about and discover. So like another Fredrik Backman book, you know, I'm going to be reading it. I can't help it. It's like a need. It's a must. It's a requirement. I then have One Golden Summer by Carley Fortune. This is probably like one of the few romance books that I'm actually excited about. I feel like 2024, like my romance reading was like, whew, you know, like that's kind of how I feel like my romance reading has gone. It was like top tier peak, all I was reading, and now it's kind of died off a little bit. But one romance that I'm so excited for is One Golden Summer by Carley Fortune. I have read Every Summer After by Carley Fortune, and I have read her release last year, This Summer Will Be Different, which I adored, I loved. And One Golden Summer is actually the story of Charlie, who is the brother of the main male character in Every Summer After. I do have this on my shelf. So here it is. Every Summer After. It's not like a continuation. It's not a sequel. It's just like you're back with some of the same characters. And because Carley Fortune writes like single POV books, it's actually not even from the POV of Charlie, the character we know. It's from like the POV of a new character who's going to be like the female lead in the book. And it's going to just be like back at Barry's Bay. And you're going to have Charlie there. It's going to be like, they're like kind of interconnected. I'm super excited for it. I think it's going to be a wonderful book. And And like I said, like I love Carley Fortune. I think writing single POV romance is more difficult to do, to create the relationship for the reader, because obviously you're only getting one side of it to really feel like connections being made and experiences being had. But I think Carley Fortune does like a wonderful job with it. And yeah, I just like a new Carley Fortune book. The third and final new release, or not new, like anticipated release that I have on the list is Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Basically, like all of these books, he's like, I really like this author. I'm super excited to read it. So I will try not to bore you by just saying the same thing over and over again. But this is going to be Taylor Jenkins Reid's new release. And look, I don't know too much about it. Again, I know I like the writer's writing style, and it's about space. It's about space, so I'm excited because I don't read about space. But like that sounds fun. Typical like Taylor Jenkins Reid, I always kind of like categorize it in my mind as like light historical, because when I say historical, my brain automatically goes to like it is the 1800s and not like it is 1970 or something, you know? So it's like light historical, but I think that's like such a fun time period to revisit because it's like just outside of, not just outside, it's like a few decades outside of my reality. And so it's kind of like fun to just see and experience like time periods from like just before your knowledge. And also space. Space is fun. I then have Intermezzo by Sally Rooney. This is like not a new release, but it is Sally Rooney's like newest book that I'm like kicking myself for not having read this yet. And really it's because I haven't bought it, and like I have only read Sally Rooney's books through Libby, and so I keep meaning to just like wait for a Libby hold to come through at a time when I'm ready to read it, and like it just keeps not working out. Why? Because I hate reading digitally, so I tend to avoid it because I always have physical books I want to read. Even if it's like I'm really excited for the digital book that I have, I just put it off because I don't like reading that way. It's a problem that I have for me and my wallet because it makes me buy books. What? It makes me keep buying books. It makes me continue to buy books. That's probably the best English. Okay, let's just forget that brain blip. But Intermezzo is a book that it's in the literary fiction realm, Sally Rooney is, where it's kind of always something that I'm like, when I read it, I love it, I enjoy it. But then like, because it kind of takes more brain power to read it, because it's like, the author is making me think. Ew. That sometimes, you know, like I put it off because I'm not like wanting to do the effort myself. But I do think that when I finally get to reading Intermezzo, I am going to love it. I better. Imagine if I don't. Like, that'd be unfortunate. So I then also have Wild Love by Elsie Silver. This is now a series that has like 3 books in it, and I have read none of them. And Wild Love is like the first book in the series. It's the pink one. And I like Elsie Silver, okay? I've read all of Gold Rush Ranch. I have Chestnut Springs. I'm still reading Chestnut Springs, which is why I haven't started Wild Love, because I'm like, girl, I cannot be reading like every single Elsie Silver series at one time, okay? I am done Gold Rush Ranch now, but I was like, one at a time, girl. You gotta be patient, okay? You don't get to have all of these series started and then you're in the middle and there's 2 by one author and they're both romance. Like, no. You gotta Hakuna the Tatas. So I have been like waiting to read Wild Love until I'm done reading Chestnut Springs. But that being said, especially now that like the newest book has like just released recently and like everybody's like, oh my god about it. And like, I want to be oh my god about it, but I am trying to have self-control. So I can't be oh my god about it. But I do feel like once I get to it, I am going to be like, oh my god about it. So 5-star prediction. I then have The Winners by Fredrik Backman. I know, I already put Fredrik Backman on the list, but like, look, I have free will and this is my channel, so if I want to put Fredrik Backman on my 5-star prediction list twice, I'm gonna do it. Honestly, I almost wanted to put him on here 3 times, and then I was like, girl, that's too much. But this is the 3rd and final book in the Beartown trilogy by Fredrik Backman. Look at this. All of these pages to absolutely devastate me, to break my heart. I'm gonna be sobbing. It's like I'm so ready, but also so not ready for this book, which is why I haven't read it, because it's like I'm dying to read it because I know I'm going to love it. But I also know that then once I'm done reading it, I'm done. Like, I only get to read this for the first time once, you know? And so, like, I really want to be in the right place to, like, just be reading this and loving it and, like, bawling my eyes out, probably most likely. So that is why it has been on... It's been on the shelf for so long without me having read it, because it's like, I need to pick the perfect time to read it. I don't even know how many books I've talked about now. I've been like actually reading this list out of order, so I don't know why I made the list if I'm just gonna be jumping around. Like, I should have ordered this differently. Okay, so we're on book number 7. Why'd I make a list if I'm not gonna do it in order? So the 7th book on the list is The Bullet That Missed by Richard Osman. This is the 3rd Thursday Murder Club book. I love the Thursday Murder Club series, and I do really think this has 5-star potential. I haven't given the first or the second book 5 stars, but I did come very close with both of them, and I feel like potentially the 3rd book could be a home run, you know? Like, it's there. These old people are gonna solve a crime so good that it's gonna be a 5-star. I just like, it's gonna happen. And if it's not this, let's be honest, it's gonna be The Last Devil to Die, because I'm pretty sure everybody adored that book, the 4th one. But I didn't really want to like say I'm gonna love the 4th book and then like skip over the 3rd book, because I think I'm gonna love this book too. This one is also like, girl, get on it. The thing is, I'm gonna reread the 2nd book before I read this, so I have to do a reread before I get to this, so that's why it hasn't been completed. But I really do think this is another one that it's gonna be like an obsession once I get there. I then have The Hunger Games. Yes, everybody, I bought the special edition of The Hunger Games. I actually bought, you can't see them, they're up there, but I bought this paperback like special edition in the first 3. I did not get the like 4th new book that's also in this edition, because I kind of just wanted the original trilogy. I'm not really sure if I'm interested in the new books. And then I also was like, well, now there's like the 5th book, and that's not released in this edition, and I think I'd rather have the initial trilogy match and then maybe have mismatching books for the other 2 if I decide to get them, versus just having one book that doesn't match. That makes sense, right? Like, my brain is correct to believe that. But I have read The Hunger Games before. However, I read it like a decade ago, and I don't remember that experience because I like binge read it all in one night when I was in high school, okay? Like, I don't remember that. So I do want to like reread it for the first time in a way. I know that doesn't make any sense, but like, there's so much of this book that I don't remember that it's basically going to feel like reading it for the first time, because I really only remember the overarching plot line. But I do think that when I read it, I'm gonna love it. I mean, like, people are saying this is going to become like a modern classic, so like, if I don't love it, what's wrong with me in a way? And also, look how pretty this book is. How could I not get it? Like, it's shiny, it's cute, we love it. It has sprayed edges. I'm not really a fan of sprayed edges. Like, I don't get the point of them. Like, it's nice, it's cute, it's pretty, but like, if my book is on the shelf, the spine is out so I can't see the sprayed edges, and if the book is not on the shelf, then I'm reading it so I'm not looking at the sprayed edges. So what is the point of the sprayed edges? Like, I'm happy to have them there, but like, I'm not gonna pay extra just for this. You feel me? You feel me? Like, an edition needs to be special outside of just having sprayed edges for me to actually feel like it's worth any kind of special editioning. That was like a weird little side tangent to go on. But I then have Crown of Midnight by Sarah J Maas, which is the 2nd book in Throne of Glass. And honestly, this one is like a little skeptical for me, because I'm like, I don't actually know if I'm going to give this 5 stars. But when I read Throne of Glass, the first book, like, I was weirdly obsessed with it, even though I didn't think it was amazing. And Sarah J Maas, for me, like, I read ACOTAR, and it's like my beloved trash, okay? There's something so special to me in having a book just be so utterly entertaining and devourable. And I think Throne of Glass, although I do have my qualms and I do have my issues and I do have my questions, I think that like overall the writing in it is good enough that it has the potential for a book to be 5 stars. For me, because it's like the Twisted series. I read Twisted Love. Like, that book although it was so entertaining, could never be entertaining enough to be a 5-star because it's so bad. But I think that like Throne of Glass potentially could be just bad enough that it's amazing. Let's just like believe that my logic makes sense. Like, let's just pretend just for a minute. Thank you. So the final book I put on the list, I was like, girl, you're just putting so far, like, I've just put like, I've read this author before, I like it, this is the next book in the series, I like it, you know? And so I was like, you have to put at least one wild card onto this list. And the final book is my wild card, and that is Black Cake by Charmaine Wilkerson. And this was like a book that's been on my radar for a while, since it released a few years back. And of course, now Charmaine Wilkerson has like a new book coming out this year called Good Dirt, and it reminded me that I meant to read Black Cake. And also, like, my mother read Black Cake and then has been telling me to read it. And as we know, my mother is the reason I started reading Fredrik Backman, and look how I feel about that man. So like, I should probably listen to my mother and read Black Cake, and it's probably going to be 5 stars. Right? Like, do I know much about the plot of that? No, absolutely not, because I like to read books blind. But based off like the vibes and the fact that my mother is recommending it to me, you know, like, I have to trust my mother. We all trust mom. When is mom not right? So that's the final book I put on my 5-star prediction list. I think like maybe it might be fun to like make a reading vlog of reading some of my 5-star predictions and seeing if they're 5 stars. That could be fun. If you'd like to see that, let me know. But for now, that's the video. That's all she wrote. In fact, I didn't even write that much. I wrote 10 books down on a list. But if you did like the video, make sure to give it a like, give it a little thumbs up. If you happen to like me, consider subscribing. I'd be happy to have you. And with that, I hope you're having a wonderful day today, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.